Here's a review for the Arcade1up NBA Jam Countercade. If you've taken advantage of the incredible deals for the Countercades this season, you know about NBA Jam for $100. Now whether you go to Kohl's and buy it for $129, get the $30 Kohl's cash, or through Amazon, you're getting it for $100, and this is exactly how it will show up at your house. It's going to come in this box. You can see all the dimensions on here along with the 2-player Countercade NBA Jam. We'll open this up, do a review, and find out, is this worth $100 in 2023? This is exactly how it will show up. There is that case that they may show up in stores, the 2-player. I have seen one in the past, but usually when you do purchase one of these, they do a great job taping it up, by the way. This will be exactly how it looks when it shows up. Very hard to pass up $100 Countercades. Might be a 2-person job actually just pulling it out of the box. It is packed very snug. That's how the NBA Jam will look right outside of that box. And here's our first look of the Countercade right outside of the box. Just remove the plastic. And if you've never seen a Countercade before, it is packed very nicely inside the box. There is some plastic we're going to have to rip off, but just a quick shot of the visual. We got the front side. I did notice a little crack in the plastic. You know, these have been sitting around for probably 2.5 years. There's a shot of the back. You got the 3 games, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and NBA Jam Hang Time. Personal favorite of mine. And a shot of the other side. You do have your owner's manual and the power cords. And sometimes there is another plastic over the Countercade. This case, there isn't. I believe the last one I got didn't have it either. Best part about these Countercades is there's absolutely no assembly. You just have to remove some screws on both the control deck and the monitor just to peel off the plastic. And I do recommend plugging this in just to be safe. The last Countercade I bought actually did everything before I powered it on. Did just turn this on, it works great. Now we'll remove everything quick and check this out. Take the dust protectors off both sides, and this will just peel right off the top. I haven't taken the screws out yet, but you may notice that there is some excess, and we're gonna clean that up along with the monitor. Actually, it wasn't the plastic remaining. If you can see on those holes, the artwork is just a little bit, I don't know if that's water damage. I'm not sure if there was something rubbing, but I did take a couple of pictures. I will be opening up a ticket. Maybe they can fix this. Maybe I can live with it. We'll put the deck protector back on in the screws and see how noticeable those holes are. Before I put the screws back in, I did loosen up the screw on both sides so the control panel can come out. I'm going to loosen up this screw and this screw, peel up the plastic, and then do the same thing on the top. We're just going to have to loosen up right on the side of the marquee just to get all the plastic off. It's a lot cleaner look. And once we got to this point, now we'll put everything back and tighten those screws and see how bad that's showing up on both corners here of that control deck. I mean, you can see it from here. Maybe the screws will cover it. Screws help, but you can still see there is some marks there. Now again, I created that ticket. There's always something with these darn arcades, but we're not gonna let that ruin our review. We'll pull this up, and the thing about the 2 top screws is once you remove this, there could be, you can see there's some plastic here, and there could be some hanging on top, and the only way to loosen that up is on both sides of the marquee. Take the screw out here and the screw here. This will come up just enough for us to peel off any excess plastic. You can see that there's no plastic remaining. We took the screw out one at a time, took the excess plastic, and now you have a clean look. There's nothing on top, nothing on the bottom. So when you're playing, at least you won't see any faults here, unlike for the last time, guys, that control deck. I mean, come on, you see that spot? And when you do remove that plastic from the control deck, it just doesn't hurt to take these off of the joysticks and the dust protector. It just comes off easy, because the last thing you want to do is bend these dust protectors, even though they're probably like 25 cents. As I put my finger here to kind of hold it as I'm tightening, and eventually it will tighten up, and you can just hear the joystick does sound good. It's your same typical Arcade1up buttons, but they do feel good. I mean, they're tight. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't know if a lot of you know this. This is actually my second NBA Jam Countercade. Sounds pretty good too. It's that good. I mean, you're gonna run into faults. You're gonna run into issues with these Countercades, with any arcade for that matter. But it's a great one. And if you have the right stand, the bar top, you can really make this comfortable. You get a lot of great playing out of this. The only thing you're really lacking is the online play. Now let's fire this up actually for the second time and check out the games. I did turn the lights off just so you could see the marquee. It does fire up right away as the screen's loading. Now each game does have a menu. You can go in there and change some of the settings. You can turn scan lines on and off. Head size, normal, large. No good! I did crank up the volume just so you could hear it. No good! It does sound a little bit louder than the last Countercade we checked out. That's the Marvel Superheroes. Looks like every game we can change the scan. I mean, that's important to a lot of people. They want to go to the OG. But we will check out NBA Jam, the headline game. Back in the day, playing as the Suns. And maybe that's what this game is, the nostalgia alone of playing as the team. If you're in your 40s, your late 30s, your early 50s, you're going to remember these teams, these players. And that's the best part about the NBA Jam, is most of the teams, most of the players are back. There are a couple that didn't make it, but it's always fun to relive, in my opinion, the best of the NBA Jam, which was the 90s. And to get out of the game, just hold down player 1 for about 3 seconds. A menu will prompt. You can resume, reset game, or quit. Go back to the main menu. We'll check out NBA Jam Tournament Edition. You can keep a record in all 3 of these games. So once you beat a team, you don't have to play them again. And the interesting thing about NBA Jam Tournament Edition is there's a third player. So if you hit turbo, you can swap the players and you can add. So we see Kevin Johnson with Charles Barkley. We'll go with that because, again, we always go with the Suns.
Tonight's matchup, Suns versus Hawks.
And it plays very similar to the original NBA Jam, and especially it plays really good on the Countercade. I mean, I gotta tell you that even though, yeah, it's an 8-inch screen, you don't even notice it. Right now when I'm playing, I'm staring at this monitor like this is what I'm looking at. It's at a comfortable level. It's high enough for me that, you fool your brain. You actually think you're playing a real arcade machine. Brings us back to resume game, reset game, or quit. Hit player 1. Back to the main menu, and we'll check out the third game, the last game, NBA Hang Time, which is probably my favorite game on here because it's so much faster pace. Now with Hang Time, you do get a couple other players in the rotation, and a really cool thing is at halftime, you can swap out your team. Again, we're gonna go with Phoenix. Big thing about Hang Time, not only the faster pace, but the alley-oops. I remember playing this game for the first time, actually staying at Walt Disney World. We were staying at the Hilton in Orlando, and they had this. I want to say it was like 1999, 98. Really similar time frame when this game came out, and I just fell in love with this game. This is a great game. And the last time I had the Countercade, I actually won the championship with the Phoenix Suns. So we went through the entire league. We beat everybody. And it's actually the only time ever the Phoenix Suns have ever won a championship. And I think that's where the nostalgia falls, is picking your childhood team or a team you're rooting for now and just playing through a season. You're gonna have a lot of fun on this. And you know, for $100, this is the most affordable, cheapest way to pick up NBA Jam, and you can play 2 players if you want. It's perfect for just 1 player. It looks small, but I'm telling you, when you're staring at this screen, this is all you're gonna notice. The marquee lighting up helps a lot because, you know, the newer arcades they make, Countercades, you're not gonna get a light up marquee. So these 2 players, I mean, for the value, you're getting 2 players, you're getting a light up marquee, you're getting a great monitor. $100 for this is a real steal. And both sides of the Countercade will both have that NBA Jam logo on there. You'll see the screws. There's no other flaws other than that control deck. And the opposite side, same artwork. And we talked about that speaker actually located right underneath the Countercade. You can see it right there. A great feature with the 2-player Countercade is they come with headphone jacks. It's on the player 1 side. Now the single player, the newer Countercades you see now, do not come with that, but there's just so much value with this 2-player. For $100, you do get a headphone jack. On the player 2 side, there is a USB, so you can actually plug in a controller here for the 2-player. It only works for 2-player, and it doesn't allow for a 3rd player. It's 1 or 2 players with this. It just gives you that benefit of having a little bit more elbow space. As far as the overall look, the only thing I wish they could have did was put decals of the 3 games or the Midway logo right underneath the control deck. You see, they did that with the Marvel Superheroes. They put all 4 titles right underneath that control deck. I just wish they would have did that with NBA Jam. Would have been a really nice touch. And like we said, from either side, you're gonna get a great picture. The monitor is very clear for 8 inches. You know, you're gonna trick your mind in thinking that you're playing a real arcade. I mean, it looks crystal clear. Well, I gotta tell you that this is one of my favorite Countercades. And actually, again, I bought this 2 different times, and it just, for what it is, I had a lot more fun playing the Countercade than the original NBA Jam from Arcade1up. Now, I'm not talking about the Shaq Jam, I'm not talking about the Deluxe, but since I brought those up, also a Partycade, at $100, this is the cheapest way, most affordable way to pick up the same 3 games that are on everything. So if you're looking for NBA Jam during this holiday season, nearing the end of 2023, I strongly recommend picking up NBA Jam for $100 on Amazon or at Kohl's. I want to thank everybody for watching this review, and I'll see you guys next time.
Berkeley.